Testing. 1, 2, 3. It seems fine for me. Okay. So, long time, no talk. I don't really have a good excuse for why I haven't talked for so long. Like, I was supposed to make 3 videos. I was supposed to make one to catch up on TNS, Fuckfest 50. I think there was another third online bracket that I also took part in last month. Give me 1 second. I think I just put on the camera. So, it's bright outside, it's flat though, so it might not look fine. You know what, it's fine. I don't really care. Anyway, I don't really have a good excuse for as to why I've not really been making a video. I've been playing mostly Marvel Rivals in order to learn my very first shooter game. So I was doing a lot of that, but I was also doing a little bit of drawing, not as much as I should be. Bro, I say that like every time I do an update video. Like, I don't draw as much as I want to. And it's like, well, I think like doing it like consistently every day is hard. But like that's like everything. I think I just have issues in regards to continuing to do stuff that I want to do. But I'm the Eck, and man, I owe you guys a couple of videos, like I said already. Like I haven't done a VOD review in like 2 months, and I've barely been playing Melty Blood. Like I played a couple of sets, like this is one of those sets I played. And I also have a couple of sets on my computer that I'd never uploaded. I was going to upload this set with me talking over it, but I was trying to talk while playing the set, and I started tryharding like in the middle, so I stopped talking like at all. Also, I got interrupted by like 6 different people while trying to record the audio for this set, so I'm just gonna mute it. I'm just gonna talk over it, as I actually do have a yapping video. So, and again, remember, like, if you don't want to watch the video, you can just put this on another tab while you listen to me talk about something in regards to Melty Blood. So I've been, like I said earlier, I've been playing Marvel Rivals recently, and in that game, it's a very ultimate focused game. You really do have to pay very close attention to when you have your ultimate and if your opponents have your ultimate, right? And like in that game, you sort of just have to intuit when your opponent has their ultimate, right? Yeah, you have to intuit when your opponent has their ultimate, as opposed to in this game when you can just fucking see your opponent's meter at the bottom of the screen, right? So I was actually like, from playing Marvel Rivals, I've noticed that I've been paying much more attention to how much meter I get on interactions and how much meter my opponent gets when they hit me, right? It's because I've been paying much more attention to meter gain and meter spend. And there was something I actually noticed while playing a lot. I think I was playing versus Alf or some shit. And also I noticed it really hard when I play versus Council. Like people like this is like it's not a non sequitur because I'm gonna tie it back, but it's kind of a non sequitur. People always are like in LGNA, they're always like, if I could have H Moon Bunker, yeah, I would trade EX Guard for H Moon Bunker. And like to me, like bro, I don't think people are understanding what they're asking for when they say that, because like people like always tend to forget. Like if you didn't know this, in Melty Blood, each and every single moon has like a meter gain multiplier like built into their kit. For example, H moons, no, C moons are the standard and they build 1.0 meter, I believe. No, it's F moons that build 1.0 meter. C moons build 1.2 and H moons build 0.7% meter. And this is universal whether they're getting hit or dealing damage to someone. So like let's say a move gives 6 meter to the opponent, right? Just 6% meter. If H moon has that move, like they'll get like 4 meter from the interaction from you landing the move, but the opponent will still, like let's say the move gives 6 meter to the attacker and the defender when it gets on hit, right? So H moon kind of gets pwned in both of those situations, right? Because they gain less meter when they get hit by the move, but they gain less meter when they hit the move as well, right? So because of this universal meter nerf that H moons have, well, it's not really much of a nerf, they've always had this. It makes like defense for H moons like a lot worse than people understand it to be. Like, people always like hyper focus on the super obvious hard knockdown, right? And people like tend to like focus on that fact, and like I kind of get it because it's like super obvious and easy to point at, and it doesn't feel good to get like hard knockdown at all, right? Like, ever. So like, people get hard knockdown and they're like understandably sort of tight when that happens to them. But like, people are always like, oh, I trade EX guard for H-Moon bunker, and like, people keep forgetting that like because EX guard is a thing, that like when you EX guard, you kind of give your opponent super meter penalty, where you decrease their meter gain by 90%, right? And this stacks on top of the meter gain nerf that H-Moons have like already. So like, if you get EX guarded as an H-Moon, you notice that you kind of just get 0 meter from the interaction. Like, you'll struggle to build like a single point of meter when you're in a block string. They start with EX guarding you, right? And because of that, like, it immediately goes away on hit, thankfully. So like, if they stop blocking after EX guarding, you still get like full meter. But like, I've noticed a lot that H-Moons have like so little control of their meter that it's kind of ridiculous. And like, I was playing versus Council, and I was like, wait a second, this shit sort of sucks for my character because I can't control my meter at all. Council, because of H-Len's throw loops, H-Len pretty much consistently gets like 100+ meter from all of her shit, right? And we have to also consider the fact that H-Len's like block strings are like really long, and they loop together moves that give her a decent amount of meter. So even when you're blocking her, if you don't have EX guard to turn off her meter gain, she's pretty much consistently building meter off of you, even when you are blocking. So you're kind of inconsistent as an H move versus her. There's like, you're kind of forced in order to guess really early, because you can't really afford, like in that round that you just saw, if you were looking at the video, like I lost one interaction, but it kind of like both because my defense is kind of rusty, because this set I played after like not playing for like a week, but both because of that and because of the fact that H-Len specifically builds a lot of meter on block string and on hit, it kind of like spirals out of control, where I'm like, because her fuzzy offense beats bunkers by default, I kind of just like steamroll into losing the round. However, when I hit her, my character's like meter control is like much worse than Len, because H-Kkohaku's block string offense is not very long. It's very like it's very 50-50, like it's very early 50-50, where she tries to like throw you early, or she tries to frame trap you in a way that gets her like a full combo. And because of that, she's kind of like, H-Kkohaku is like extremely reliant on her combos in order to build the meter that she needs in order to play Melty Blood. But the combos for her that get a lot of meter are like super difficult and are not consistent, especially not to be like doing on like reaction to bullshit. Like, it's not like you can get like a random 2A hit and do anything more than like launch her into BC AFL, right? But because of that, I was like, wait a second, my meter situation is almost always in like a really bad spot compared to my opponents. Because another thing that's kind of interesting that people don't like pay attention to is that like when you lose, like let's say you get pub stomped in a round in Melty Blood, right? I noticed this a lot because I play my character a fuck ton. Normally my character, due to the way the toe loops work, he normally gives you about like let's say she does her optimal loops that do not give you as much meter as some of her, like let's say she doesn't need to generate meter for herself for any reason, and she's just trying to kill you, right? So she's not doing anything fancy that would increase your meter gen, right? So just basic 3 loops into looping the Oki, and let's say she started one of the hits with like a strike, so she gets like 5k on one of the loops and she throws you twice, right? She only gives you about like 70 meter in that situation. But the thing is, that's like almost a bar, and a bar on a C and F moon can go a lot farther than a bar on an H moon generally, in neutral at least. But I was noticing, like, because like during this set and both when I was losing to like Zay, because I was playing Zay after I was fucking like Omega Wash. He was like beating me on like he was beating me on F Hisui, and I kind of felt bad because I was like, bro, I used to be able to I used to not lose like this, and now I can't move my character the way I want. But I was paying attention to my meter just because I was just curious about it. And like one of the rounds he like completely smoked me, right? And I only gained like half a bar for that. Like I got like 45 meter for like losing, like getting hit twice. And like generally my character again gives like 70 bar for doing that, and that's a lot. That's a lot to do with like the 30. Like she gets like half as much bar, almost half as less bar. Yeah, compared to F Moon's like 1.0 meter gen, H Moon's only has 0.7, right? So if you think about it, like 50, like 46 to like 70, that's about right. That's almost like the correct number for that. So I was probably like, I'm probably remembering correctly in regards to that. So like H Moons, like C Moons and F Moons can like afford to have bad rounds where they just get pub stomps, because even if they spend a little bit of meter in order to try to avoid getting pub stomps, they'll have more than enough meter for the next round, right? Like they'll have at least 1 point in the next round where they have 100 meter in order to try to like force an EX reversal at worst. If there's C Moon, they can heat. Like most F Moons have like an invincible EX reversal generally. Not all of them are like amazing, right? But they at least have the option to like present. Like H Moons, if they like let's say they use their bunker and it gets baited and they go back to blocking, they're kind of pwned if they don't like if they don't like hard read you on defense, because like their natural meter game being so low kind of just opens them up to a lot of fucking bullshit, because they're just not gonna get enough meter. Like they could bunker at like 100%. Oh right, this is when someone actually, this is when my sister or someone said something to me after I just turned off the recording. And here's the rest of the set, I think. Yeah.
Isn't the cipher already out? What are you talking about?
What was I saying? Right, like let's say you bunker at the beginning of a round and you like get hit regardless, you're pretty much pwned, because you're only gonna get like, you're gonna have the meter penalty from the bunker for about 5 seconds, which is generally like one full combo. So instead of gaining 20 to 30 meter from that bunker combo, you're going to get like 5 meter from the, not 5, but you're gonna get 10 meters as opposed to normally getting like 20 from getting hit by that combo. And like it continuously scales up like that. And I was like really thinking about it, and I was like, dude, the thing that might be holding my character back might just be like meter in regards to a lot of situations, because I was noticing in this set with Council that like his meter was almost always in a prime spot for him, because even it's parts like this where he's at like 15 meter, his character, both because H-Lane is kind of cheap and also because she has like decently strong tools, she can afford to like cannonball and take extremely high risks, both because my character cannot consistently combo her, both because of a skill issue and also because her hitbox is fucking dog shit, but also because like he does shit like this and then she block strings to me, and look at how much meter she's getting on block. She's getting like 30 per interaction, 30 per block string, like one block string and one combo, and he's already up like what, 90 meter. And now my character is donating a little bit of meter, and by the end of this combo, he has enough to raw burst, assuming I didn't like fuck up the combo. So I think people are kind of like sleeping on how big the meter penalty that H-Moons get for existing is, because I think when people say they'd rather have H-Moon bunker and that H-Moon bunker is like super broken or so, they're not really thinking about the big picture. Like very, very often people will talk about how broken H-Moon bunker is, and personally, like, I get that I play H-Moon, so my bias is like against H-Moon bunker, because like I've seen all of its flaws as opposed to like a C-Moon like EX block or some shit. But like I play C-Moons a little bit, and like you can always just not EX block, and the reward for EX blocking is so ridiculously high. Like even if it didn't randomly like eat your inputs, the fact that it's 90% meter gain decrease for like 2 seconds, and it increases the amount of meter you gain while blocking is like insane to me personally. Like I think people really do sleep on how important meter is in this game, and like the average H-Moon is not like H-Lan who builds like a fuck ton of meter on block and on hit. Like H-Kkohaku, like again, because I play this character a lot and I've been paying attention to how much meter I've been getting, I'm kind of washed on the H-Kkohaku combos a little bit. So when I've been noticing when I don't get those like super clean combos, like hell, even if I get them with toe loops, I don't get that much meter unless I decide to give my opponent a lot of meter, which is generally something you don't want to be doing in this game. A lot of the characters that I would rank better than H-Kkohaku can afford to like do their combos that build them meter without having to worry about giving their opponents lots of meter. So like, this is just my thoughts and my yapping about meter management and melted blood. I'm sorry again for not like making one of these like super earlier. Like again, this video is kind of like 2 months in. This video should have been posted like 2 months ago. But I guess playing rivals and shit actually kind of helped, because if I wasn't playing rivals and like so much of that game is like focusing on how much of your ult charge your opponent has, because that's generally like the most important cooldown outside of like a couple of other shit. Like I play Spider-Man, so I have to pay attention to shit like Bucky, a hook and stuff, but like generally ults is the most important cooldown, so I have to pay a lot of attention to it. And I was like, you know what, meter is literally shown to me, my opponent's meter is like right there on the bottom of the screen. Why don't I look at it and pay lots of attention to it? So generally nowadays when I'm like getting comboed, instead of like looking, like just thinking about interactions, I'm just looking at the meter and scanning it and seeing how much I'm giving and getting. And it's like, damn, my character is kind of getting pwned a lot by meter again, because she doesn't do super long block strings, and the moves that she has in her kit they just flat out don't give her a lot of meter. So she's just kind of getting pwned in that interaction. And I was like, my character is one of the better H moves, so imagine characters like H-Tono or some shit like H-Mech, or let's not talk about characters that are that dog shit, and let's talk about characters like H-Nadia, who has to use his who's ending his combos with his J63C, and like he probably has worse problems than this. Like another thing, like I think I talked about it very briefly, but how well you can like use your meter in neutral in order to make sure that your meter, like this H moon burst is like really dog shit for me. I think as playing H moon more and more, you never ever want to go into heat if you don't have red health to get. And even then, you ideally want a little bit of red health to get, or you're like steamrolling on defense. Like otherwise, you just flat out do not want to be in heat, which means you generally have to be using meter more on like both in neutral or on offense, and my character can't do that super well. Like H-Nadia, he can't really use meter in block string offense really well, other than his 236C, and I don't really think that move is like amazing for him to be using, but hey, at least he has the option though. But like this is just my general thoughts on meter. Like this is kind of like, I have like a small notepad that I had my basic thoughts on this, but like I think that's all I have to say. Also, I'm beginning to think that maybe this video will code correctly, sadly, because I set the code wrong. Hopefully that's not the case, and I'm not gonna promise anything this time, because the last time I promised a bunch of videos, I literally went away for like 2 months and I didn't upload anything. I barely played any multiplayer. But I want to try at least get one more video out before the end of the month. It's not going to be the guide, despite the fact that I keep saying I'm working on the guide, and I keep saying I will organize the channel, but I probably will organize the channel. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm ever going to post this video, because I'd have to turn off the audio for this video. I don't know how to do that, and I don't think I really care. Also, I'm like really out of practice with VOD review. Like I've been silently kind of VOD reviewing this VOD while I talk to you guys about meter, and like, damn, I am like so rusty. I don't even know if there's much point in reviewing a VOD in which I am very clearly like mega rusty, both on defense and shit. Like, yeah, that's it for this video. I'll actually produce one video today about like something that's not, it won't be as long, it'll be like a minute or two, but I just want to post a little bit about it. So see you guys in a little bit later today.